Alright, tonight's Throwback Thursday is going to be a little bit different. We're doing the Throwback Thursday classics. From the classic stories to even one of my favorite stories throughout the 7 years of this broadcast. You know, one of my favorite issues to talk about is education. And you know what my favorite one is? When we focus in on educational stuff. One of the biggest ones ever happens to be in our school lunches. That's right, our school lunches are always in the news. And social media is just always...
The food.
It's just all about fruits and vegetables. How can that be? Here's Jim Avila.
Need a fruit or vegetable sweet pie?
It's a noble effort, but an ABC News investigation shows the USDA's new school lunch guidelines are not going down so well with many kids across the country. America's public school students protesting the new federal war on child obesity with guidelines promoting smaller portions, fewer calories, less meat and cheese, and more fruits and vegetables, all aimed to control obesity, which kills more Americans than any cancer. Some of the protests hit the internet in dramatic fashion, like this lunchroom revolt.
Give me some seconds, I need to get some food today. My friends are at the corner store getting junk so they don't waste away.
Students at this Kansas high school creating a viral video protesting the new calorie-cutting menus in their cafeteria. The new rules limit elementary schoolers to 650 calories, 700 calories for middle schoolers, and 850 for high schoolers.
It's roughly the same amount of calories, but it's a different mix of how you get to those calories, and we think it's based on the science is a more nutritious mix.
But the result of all that healthy food, say many parents and kids, is a dramatic increase in plate waste.
Sometimes the food is just nasty.
In fact, the only known study of food waste under the new guidelines contains a startling statistic. Kids are now throwing away twice as much food as last year.
You just plop the vegetables and plop the fruit there and don't do anything else. Waste goes up. Waste goes up about 97%.
We visited a school in suburban Chicago just this month where middle schoolers analyzed their lunch waste and were shocked to find 46 boxes of unopened pears.
They're all unopened, totally unopened.
The week before, all 111 vegetable containers served were thrown away.
Schools tell us that they're seeing a 50% increase in the amount of lunchroom trash.
We're just too healthy on us.
I try my hardest, but it does not work.
Angie Reynolds at Virginia's Holston High School says kids are bringing their own and only take the fruits and vegetables when she forces them. They complain the food is tasteless.
A lot of it is going in the trash.
The secret ingredient, perhaps missed most by the students and even the lunch ladies, is so secret it's hidden way back here in the supply room behind a locked door and underneath one of the boxes. That ingredient? Salt. The new school lunch rules place limits on salt, ketchup, and sugar, flavors kids crave.
The first rule of food is that nobody's going to get any nutrition out of it if you don't eat it. The trash can does nothing for you nutritionally.
But the USDA says it's working in some schools.
We're seeing elementary school children probably more receptive to this than high school students, which is understandable because high school students have gone through perhaps 10 or 12 years of schools with a different sort of formula.
And that Cornell study finds there are creative ways to cut down on plate waste, that by moving the healthy choices to the front of the buffet and making up names for vegetables like power beans or X-ray vision carrots, plate waste will drop dramatically.
That's what makes all the difference in whether it's eaten or thrown out.
Oh, they love salad.
Moves that could help the modern-day lunch lady cut down on plate waste and America's kids cut down on childhood obesity. For Nightline, I'm Jim Avila in Bristol, Virginia.
It's all about the healthy choices. If you were to make a mirepoix salad, by the way, mirepoix is French for carrot, celery, and onion. if we're gonna make a whole salad out of mirepoix, or the Trinity. Trinity, by the way, is the Cajun, is the New Orleans threesome. The carrot is replaced with bell peppers. So you have carrot, celery, onion for mirepoix. Then you have the Trinity, which is onion, celery, and bell pepper. If we're gonna make the Trinity mirepoix salad, you'd eat that every day, and you would probably lose a lot of weight. You may be vegetarian, but it may be helpful. And every time we deal with the issue about school lunches, it's always the same. It's always the same case. You know, everyone goes to social media and claims like, oh, this tastes awful. This tastes bad. This is nasty. I hate to break it to you, but it's what you're eating. And like I said in these lunch videos, these school lunch episodes, when I was a kid, you either eat the school lunch or you eat at home. When it was early release day for me, I didn't want to eat. I didn't eat the school lunch. I came home, ate lunch at home. If I were to bring lunch from home, then I bring lunch from home in a lunchbox. That's one loophole. The other loophole is about closed campus. Which brings us to our next segment when we come back. It's all about closed campus, one of our classics. We're still going to focus in on the school lunches when we come back, and a bit later on, another one of my favorites from last season, Purdue Chicken. One owner says, "Prove to me that all these employees have injured or have these claims." Stay with us. Welcome back. If you just joined us tonight, our Throwback Thursday is going to be filled with Throwback Thursday classics, from education to even issues that we deal with today. Now, who could forget closed campus? Closed campus basically means you're not allowed to leave campus at any time during a school day. We have 3 videos to prove it. First off, remember these 2 girls? Remember we showed you a few clips from the principal's office? This is one of them that I might have shown you, or what I might have shown you, did not show you, or have not shown you before. If I did, you might remember the names of Kate and Dana. Kate and Dana were both. Kate decided, you know what, I have English homework due. I'm not good grade, so I just go over there. I didn't have a good grade in English, so therefore I'm gonna go cut class, go get some coffee, go get the homework, and come back. But what ended was them almost losing their driving privileges and getting them in school suspension. Take a look.
A good number of our students are not conscious of the fact that we have cameras throughout this building and that we're constantly watching them for safety purposes. I've been called down to the security office to look at the videotape.
We had 2 students leave the building. Excuse me, 2 girls going out to the car right now.
Let's go to the other camera as they walk in the building.
That's the girls. They're coming in now. You know who they are, yeah?
Looks like Dana and Nick. And looks like they have coffee. Thanks a lot, John.
All right.
What I have to do now is I have to sit down with both Dana and Kate and tell them the reasons why it was ridiculous to leave the building.
You want to say
Ladies, come on in, please. Yeah, ladies, please sit down. Where were we at the beginning of period 2 today?
Class, where were you?
I was down in the security office looking at the camera, and I see 2 young ladies leave the building, walk across the street to a white SUV, get in it, and drive away from this area. 15 minutes later, I saw 2 young ladies walk into the building with coffee and Dunkin' Donut bags, wearing those shirts. What 2 people are we talking about, guys?
Everyone's wearing these shirts today.
Everyone's wearing shirts.
Yeah.
Ladies, are we going to play games or are we going to be honest? Where did we go?
Alright, here's the thing. I have like a not such a great grade in English, and we had homework due today that I did, and I left it at home. I left all my books home, which is why I don't have any right now. and I don't drive, so Dana took me, and we just stopped at Dunkin' Donuts on the way.
I see. Kate just decided on her own to leave. It had nothing to do with schoolwork. She took a shot. I would believe the story, and I don't believe it. Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
So we went to Dunkin' Donuts.
I guess.
You're both juniors. You leave the building twice during your junior year, just twice. You give up the right to drive as a senior.
Are you serious?
Excuse me, you made a choice today. If you leave the building again, you will not have the opportunity to drive to school any day as a senior.
There's no way I'm going to get my driving privileges taken away next year because of this stupid stuff. It's ridiculous. Miss Ching, this is honestly ridiculous. So, like, no offense, but, like, I'm just trying to help her get her homework, and we had time, so we went to get coffee.
The bottom line is this: you can drive off this property, get in an accident, your parents want to know where you are, and I or no one else in this building can explain it. This is serious stuff. You're both intelligent. You made a big mistake. Now, I will be calling your parents, and you both have in-school suspension. Don't do this again. Have a nice day.
Well, I'm nervous because I know my parents are going to get mad at me. It's probably going to ground me, and it sucks.
Hopefully, because high school's like a soap opera. Every other kid knows they left, they got caught, they were disciplined. Hopefully we never have to deal with this again.
Never deal with it again. Okay, well, here's the thing though. This is very different from what I showed you. Like I said, closed campus basically means you're not going to leave campus at any time during the school day. Here's the second clip. Those two walked in the hallway with McDonald's, teacher caught them, and they got Saturday school. Only in Oklahoma City.
At John Marshall High School, we have a closed campus. Students cannot leave campus at any time during the school day. Today, 2 students were sent to my office because a teacher caught them walking up the hallway with McDonald's.
I don't never get in trouble, really. I'm a good student. I don't get in trouble a lot.
So, how'd you get McDonald's?
A friend brought it for me.
Okay. Who is the friend?
Don't really tell you that.
You can either tell me how all of this came about, or I can run video back and I can figure it out for myself. Now, the more work I put into it, the more different the consequence is going to be.
I don't think we should be in trouble because, I mean, we was trying to get something, we was hungry.
Tell me what drives you to this.
Cause y'all don't got no food.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big girl. I wanted to eat like some fried chicken, red beans, neck bone, shrimp. I'm sorry, but
right.
It's just the whole, but if y'all get some, you know, food here,
right.
I'll stay. I'm big, I want to eat. I want to get some McDonald's, some A&W, some Long John Silver, some something. I want to eat no salad, no dressing. That's nasty. I don't want to eat that. And then the milk, it don't taste right.
As a result of your bringing food on campus illegally, you just gave me lunch.
I don't think that's right, because I want my food myself. Because if you're going to eat my food, you're going to pay me $6.
I don't think I necessarily want the French fries, but the fish, yeah, that will work.
I'm hungry. He ain't take my food like that. She paid for that, and I wanted to eat it.
Now, I'm going to assign both of you to Saturday school for the next 2 Saturdays. Ladies, to class.
Hey, can I have this?
That's fine.
Thanks.
I knew that taking that food would teach them a lesson because 1, they spent money and they got nothing in return. 2, I figured they'd be just a little bit hungry.
Peace.
It's her fault that we got caught, so I think Autumn should take all the blame and not me.
Whatever.
I'm about to punch in your face. Do it.
Oh boy. It ends with them getting Saturday school and being punched in the face. Wow. Okay, here's one more. Here's one of my favorites. The escape artist. Disappeared for an hour, went to the bathroom, and then all of a sudden, he became the escape artist. He's Dr. Casual.
We're going to play it like this. It's like Chinese prison. If you fess up before I tell you what I know, you'll get off easier.
I get in trouble so much, I could be getting called out for anything. I mean, it could be from months ago, it could be weeks, could have been yesterday, I don't know.
Start telling me stuff you've been getting in trouble for lately.
I'm not doing nothing. I don't know, I was suspended, but I forgot for what.
Break. I gotta find out why.
I forgot why, I really
I
did.
swear to God, you kill me.
I really didn't forget why.
I hate wasting my time.
Oh, I broke a chair.
What?
I broke a chair.
What chair when?
It was an art class.
What the heck, man?
It broke. It broke.
All right, keep going, because I know we're still not at the thing I want yet.
Was I got kicked out of class?
Yep.
Yep.
But I understand not only did you not go down to the main office, you kind of like went and did your own thing.
My bladder was acting up. From first lunch.
Explain to me how it takes you an entire hour to go to the bathroom.
Well, the first stall I went in, they didn't have any toilet paper. So I went to I had to go all the way to the other one, get that, and then I was still going. It wouldn't stop. It was an emergency. What?
Sounds to me like you were cutting class.
No.
You cut the class in order to go to lunch to see your girl.
No, she's not even in that lunch.
I think I want to get Kayla down here and find out what's going on.
For what? She didn't even do
Because
nothing.
she needs to corroborate your story, because I'm not really believing you right now. Is Kayla in your class, please? Could you send her down to the main office? Thank you. This is your last chance. I mean, you can fess up now, it'll go much easier on you if you just tell me the truth.
I didn't do nothing wrong.
All right, fine.
I did nothing wrong.
Come on in, Kayla. Hey, have a seat. What are you doing here?
That's her.
I think the question should be, why are you here?
That was my question.
Yesterday, he disappeared for about an hour, and I'm not really certain where he was. If you know he did something wrong, and you don't tell me where he went, you can get in just as much trouble as he can.
No, we're not. Don't get me suspended for what you did. Tell her what happened.
Me? I didn't do nothing.
Tell her what happened, or we're done.
I went across the street because I was hungry, alright?
Across the street, what does that mean?
The hole in the fence behind the school.
I can't believe you. You left school around. This is a 3-day suspension.
10 minutes, tops.
You take your pass and go back to class. I gotta deal with him.
You're still my girlfriend, right? How messed up was that? That messed up.
What, did she didn't answer you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Thanks a lot.
Bottom line is you're suspended for 3 days outside of school. I have no confidence that, in fact, he will not do this again, but I'm pretty sure he's not going to tell her where he went next time.
I really hope she's still my girlfriend. I don't want to talk to her later and she's going to be all mad at me and still serious about it. But I'm sorry if she's watching or something.
All right. All right. It's always the case here. Closed campus, basically, to throw in our common sense alert, would be like trying to start from stealing a candy bar to hitting up a bank. Then hitting up a bank to doing a school shooting. Not true either. Don't commit. If you don't do it, the bottom line here is this: eat your school lunches. Do not skip out on campus. Do not leave school to go get food. Do not get on your mobile apps to go to DoorDash, Favor, Grubhub, Uber Eats, get your food delivered and say, that's my lunch. There's one loophole you need to have. You eat at home, you bring a lunch from home. That's that loophole. You use that loophole right there, and you can guarantee yourself you may have a healthy lunch. depending on what you get. And even then, you'll probably remember not to even skip class ever again. Unless your girl wants to know where you're at, then you might break up with her. It's just like, we don't care. We don't come to school much. One person says, show me the evidence that these employees complain about all these hazardous accidents, and I'll prove you wrong. One person did. Coming up, he comes forward saying, actually, before we go on break here, can I let's just think of this for a moment. I could just imagine Caroline Caswell, the former principal of this school, would be a special guest when we do Viral Break, and then she would walk us through her favorite moments with her students when they were called out of the principal's office. We sit down together for a one-on-one interview and be like, prove versus X, tell me about this student right here, and she would walk us through it. It'd be a great show. Alright, we zoom in what we talked about. One person says, show me the proof that all these conditions happen in my work, and I may prove you wrong, or I may deny it or be honest about it. Coming up, one person from a chicken company who owns the chicken company tells his side about what happened. Next, more about school lunches, and even a state law in New Jersey that one person has a biggest excuse ever. Stay with us as our Throwback Thursday classics continue. So our show today is Throwback Thursday, and we're dealing with our Throwback Thursday classics throughout the 6 years. Who remembers the soda pop scammer? That was a woman that was a student who went into the teacher's lounge without permission and took 3 sodas out of the machine. But here's where the story gets a little bit juicier. There's a state law saying that no school is allowed to have soda machines in the hallway. The reason why that is because it's not nutritious. But then she would come up with a lie saying it was just for an English teacher, when in fact it was just for herself.
In the state of New Jersey, no school is allowed to have soda machines in their hallway because it's not nutritious. I have to call on the student into my office who went into the teacher's lounge without permission and took 3 sodas out of the machine.
You wanted to see me? What did I do?
Here, you can read it.
Oh, this. Joe was using the soda machine in the teacher's cafeteria. When questioned by several teachers, including me, she told us that she was getting a drink for her English teacher. She proceeded to buy 3 sodas. I guess her teacher was thirsty. My teacher gets really thirsty sometimes. Like, you know when people get that stuff on the corner of their mouth, like they're like dehydrated and like white lips, and she asked for a soda, so I was just trying to be a nice person and go and get her the soda.
All right. And when did this happen? What period was this?
During period 3.
Period 3?
Yeah.
Are you crazy? It's a lunch period, so we're going to have 20 or 30 teachers walking in there. This is like having a gambling operation across the street from the police department.
I was getting it for my English teacher.
All right. Do you really think I believe that your English teacher, who is a veteran teacher, one of our best teachers, would send you to buy 3 sodas?
I didn't know which one to get her. She didn't specify, so I got her options.
I don't believe this at all. So, guess who I have to talk to next?
My English teacher.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you don't have to do that.
Sorry. Tell me the truth right now.
I was in the mood for a soda. I wasn't settling for a Yoo-Hoo or a Snapple.
So water won't do, huh?
I was in the mood for soda.
So, I don't have to ask the English teacher what the heck she's doing.
No, you don't.
I see. There's a reason why you guys can't have soda, okay? In the state of New Jersey, you can't have nutritional stuff in machines. It's a legal matter. There's a reason why the soda is in a locked faculty room.
Who's open? I don't think it's fair that teachers get caffeine all day and we don't. That's why we're falling asleep in class. I just want soda.
Oh. It's a state law. To end this, you have an extended Saturday detention.
So, it's over soda, Mr. Tate.
Well, I hope the soda was good. All right, back to class.
I'm not happy with my punishment at all. It's just soda. That's all it is. It's dumb soda. When I get home, I'm gonna write a letter to my congressman because this is stupid. The whole thing is stupid. It's soda.
In the future, Jill should stay out of the faculty lounge and get something out of one of the student machines that is healthy for her.
I'd imagine how that letter would be turned out. Dear Congressman, my name is Jill, and I'm concerned about a soda law here in the state of New Jersey, all about no sodas. I have reasons for this. First of all, we don't get caffeine. Teachers do get caffeine. It'd be like a 3 to 5 page essay all about why we need sodas in our school and why teachers don't lead by example. That's what it comes to. Now, here's the bottom line this for you. Drink healthy. Eat and drink healthy. Follow the state law. Follow the state law, and if your state law says you cannot be having any food, you can't be having any nutritional stuff in the machines, that is their choice. It's what that state says. Just it is what it is. The law's the law. It's how it is. The law is the law. Whether you like it or not, if you don't like it, move to a different state. That's how it is. I've often said this time and time again at work, and I'm going to say it here. I've often said this time and time again at my work, and I'm going to say it to you here in 2 ways. First, inappropriate language is not allowed in any workplace by any person, management or staff. It's unacceptable. Inappropriate language is not allowed in any school district by any person, student or staff. Unacceptable.
Here's a write-up. I don't know what it's about.
Alex was cursing loud and clear, telling a story, plus continued to curse after being told to stop. She said 4 times.
Bad language is not supposed to be used in a school environment. It's as simple as that. Students, teachers, no one's supposed to use bad language around here.
This is ridiculous.
No.
They curse in the class constantly. I get written up for saying, oh, this has got to be the most ridiculous thing I've ever been in trouble for. It's like she's picking on me for this one. I've never even gotten yelled at for cursing.
No. Whose mouth did this come out of?
Mine.
Okay, so who's picking on? She's not picking on you.
I wasn't even talking even next to her. She just heard me.
You shouldn't say it. It shouldn't be said in the classroom. What is this?
A dictionary.
And how many words are in there, roughly?
A lot.
10,000. Well, I know that you know how to communicate without using bad language. Am I correct about that?
Yeah.
What do I say to you all the time? Think. Alex, please think. Because when you think, you're a fine young man. When you just do things sometimes, you upset yourself more than you upset anybody else. All right? I'm just going to give you 2 central office detentions. But this is the last time we have this discussion in the next 2 years. Last time we have this discussion, all right?
Gotcha.
All right, take care.
All right. Am I ever going to curse in school again? Yeah, to tell you the truth. Yeah, in that class, probably not. I don't know.
Probably not. You're going to do it again. This just like this. Common sense is telling you never to use profanity in school. Don't ever use profanity in school. Here's a couple more clips.
Morning, Jordan. Make yourself comfortable. This morning it was brought to my attention that a student was cursing in gym class, even after the teacher told him that he's going to be taken to the office, and he did not stop. Seems like we're having a little problem with your gym class.
No.
Well, let me read this, then we'll talk about it. Jordan has a problem with controlling his mouth.
I love gym class.
He constantly is cursing in class. And I talked to him about it every day. He repeatedly kept cursing after he knew he was going to be written up. What's the problem, Jordan?
We were playing dodgeball yesterday, and I got out, so I said, this. I get a little bit too tense in the game. In the heat of the moment, I'm probably the most competitive person I know. I never really think about it. I just get a little bit too serious about it. Who's gonna win and who's gonna lose? Don't like to lose.
And swearing helps you not lose?
No, I just get angry.
You get angry?
Yeah.
You can't control it?
I could if I wanted to.
You could if you wanted to?
Mm-hmm.
Do you curse at home?
No.
If you're swearing in school and you're not swearing at home, it tells me one thing, that you don't respect the authority in school. If I use profanity directed at you right now, how would that make you feel?
Bad.
Bad.
That's right.
Is that appropriate?
No.
No. Jordan, even though I'd like to wash your mouth out with soap. Since you're not in here often, we're going to give you a nice extended detention for this, but if it happens again, you will be suspended.
Alright.
I don't think you'll ever be hearing Jordan swear on school grounds again.
He swore again! You get suspended! Oh, he swore again! You're suspended! This one gotta take the cake here. When I watched this several times, and let me tell you, his crazy excuses were just even funny. Just take a look at this.
So I'm sitting at my desk, and in comes Mr. Rich, bringing one of our office frequent flyers, Chris. Thought this year you weren't going to be a frequent flyer.
Sorry.
Chris has received, thus far in his high school career, about 35 referrals.
School sucks, of course I'm gonna be a wise guy. Need to pass the time.
In freshman computer lab, slamming the keyboard down on the table. What are you doing?
I went like this.
Why were you doing it?
I don't know, I was having fun.
I also see on here that she checkmarked profanity and gestures. What is that all about?
I told her to shut the up.
What did you say to her?
I told her to shut the up.
Why would you say something like that to her?
Because she's beautiful.
You know you can't talk to a teacher like that, Chris. Chris lacks that self-control, no buffer between what he's thinking and what he's saying. It just comes out. What about the gestures?
What are gestures?
She said it's when you exited the room you were giving gestures. What were you doing? Sit down.
Why do you think that's funny?
Because I'm black.
What does that have to do with any of it? Chris?
Yes.
No more. All right, Chris, well, you know the deal. It's 5-day suspension for being disrespectful to the teacher.
Can I have 6 days? You're beautiful.
This type of behavior is over.
Alright.
Chris, he's a work in progress. Hopefully, we're getting somewhere with him.
Chris?
But we took a big step back.
Oh, my goodness. Because I'm black? Oh my God. It's even in the comments section. Can I say something? Because I'm black? Can I get say? Why do you think it's funny? Because I'm black? Oh my god, I'm on vacation watching this video and oh my god. It's like, oh, what a life. He could be saying these things while he's twerking right in front of the TV. Cause I'm black. I caught her twerking right in front of the TV. I caught her twerking right in front of the TV. Oh my god. The bottom line is for you, no profanity in schools. Period. No cussing, no swearing, none of it. No attitude given. None of it given. When we come back, we're going to switch back to the school lunches, and Purdue Chicken speaks out. Don't go away. A few moments ago, we showed you a portion of a video from a school district talking about we are hungry. Basically playing all about those school lunches. We've seen people just throw away those school lunches, unopened pears, and just trash being piled up, thinking the trash can's their best friend. But now it's gotta be healthy. Big Brother knows cafeterias are counting calories and fighting words. It's time on high school traditions, horrible cafeteria food with food fights. Basically because the food is so bad. Here's Matt Gilman with a story that was making big headlines 12 years ago, and giving it all new meaning to the Hunger Games.
Since the creation of mystery meat, the school cafeteria has held a certain mystique.
Bananas can be served in many different and many attractive ways.
A place of grazing and mean girls hazing.
Jan, you're wearing sweatpants. It's Monday. So that's against the rules, and you can't sit with us. Whatever.
But the latest lunchroom drama is playing out far from the gilded streets of Hollywood. America is fat, and getting healthy is a national priority. But resistance is popping up all over, from Parsippany, New Jersey, where today students boycotted the new federal school lunch program, and in the unlikeliest place for a mutiny.
I know I gave up on food months ago.
Tiny rural school in Kansas, the graduating class of just 18, whipping up this musical parody, and it's stirring the pot via YouTube this week on a very national issue. Over 700,000 viewers have watched this video of high schoolers singing about their hunger pangs, athletes turning into narcoleptics, and first graders crawling zombie-like from lack of food. So what's to this musical lament? The video gone viral tells the tale of students who seem to think the smaller portions and healthy fare in the school lunch menus leaves them downright depleted. New federal guidelines shifted the lunch tray around. Gone is the standby of the puffy white roll and the potatoes. Now, there are a lot more fruits and vegetables, all the stuff your mother wants you to eat. Except Mother Now is Uncle Sam, which limits the number of calories high schoolers get to 850.
Why? Because a third of our youngsters are obese or at risk of being obese.
But the kids here in the land of ruler straight roads and big sky say their stomachs are growling. And they're asking for more, please. It all started here 4 weeks ago in Elaine Fisher's school kitchen, when this kind-hearted lunch lady served up an unappetizingly sad but federally approved breadstick.
So I texted Linda, and literally within an hour or so, she had the lyrics written up, and that just kind of went from there.
And that's Linda O'Connor. She's the English teacher who took the hit song We Are Young by the group Fun and rewrote the lyrics into We Are Hungry. I can't begin to imagine how many times you must have heard kids complain about school lunches. I wonder, how is this different?
For 20 years, I've always been prepared for kids being hungry at the end of school. That's nothing new. But I'm not prepared for kids being hungry an hour after they eat. It's the lack of protein and it's the lack of carbohydrates that is causing the hunger.
Nutritionist Bonnie Taub Dix says that's baloney.
The problem is not so much that not enough food is being served. Perhaps some of the food that's being served is not the kids' favorites. Half your plate fruits and veggies. It's foreign to most kids. That's why they're not eating it.
Now I know that this is not all that you got.
The famished star of the video is a young cowboy named Callahan Grunt. He's gotten so big around here that his I Love Beef shirt is turning into a hot fashion item.
You should get some royalties for that shirt, right? No?
I don't need them. I was just too hungry. I may not look like I eat a lot of food, but I eat a ton of food.
Those protein cravings ironic since this is the land of beef. Callahan has nearly as many livestock on his ranch as there are people in his hometown of Sharon Springs, Kansas. Population 800. So how's this working out? In this one school town, lunch lady Elaine has to give the kids, by law, what the government wants.
When you have to give a high schooler a whole cup of fruits and vegetables, and they look at that and think, oh.
It's really torture, isn't it? A whole cup of vegetables?
Yes,
it's
yes.
a terrible thing. Let you guys get back to class.
So this intrepid reporter hit the lunch line.
Make sure you eat it all today.
Today's offer, chicken quesadilla. Inside, a few lonely specks of meat. It's no wonder teens are tossing the healthy food and turning to the food underworld. Sometimes the outside food is brown bagged and healthy.
Look at that, broccoli?
Most often, it's not, and those who can afford it march off to the nearest convenience store at lunchtime. They call it junking up. Secret stashes squirreled away in school lockers.
Wow, this is like a refrigerator. This is great. Are these Fruit Loops?
Chloe Springfield revealing her stockpile of goodies.
And what is this one? Hot Pocket. You're kidding me, this is actually your locker.
So it's no wonder fruits and veggies are a tough sell.
It's hard for everyone to change their eating habits because as they're called habits.
I'll take a little one.
And to our surprise, we discovered that the lower we went in grade levels, the healthier the habits. The little ones even let me in on a secret. Government rules are flexible.
We go back and get seconds.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Do you ever leave lunch hungry?
Yeah.
You ever go back to class hungry? Never.
I need to get some food today. My friends are at the corner store getting junk so they don't waste away.
Maybe the teens could take a healthy lesson from the younger kids. Well, great. Even then, we wouldn't have to see a food fight like in Max Keeble's big move of kids throwing all their food around. Here's a few of my favorite. Okay, so here's a few of my favorite. Here's a few of my favorite school lunch stories. Starting off with the leader of the school lunch program. A lot of students complaining, and the employee was suspended. But here's the thing.
Zach?
The superintendent says she was suspended for a reason for not doing her job. If you're to look at this, let me zoom in here for y'all. Take a look right there where this is right here. You see that? That's pizza. Would you want to eat that? I don't think so.
They're awful.
Pictures of burnt pizzas and something so charred it is hard to identify filled Beth Paulette's camera roll.
What is that? Those are the ribs, supposedly.
Paulette says her sons first showed her the pictures of the cafeteria food at King and Queen Central High School on Monday, and other students confirmed their story.
It just looked so unappetizing. I could not even bring myself to even try it at all.
We brought those concerns to Superintendent Dr. Stanley Jones, who was out of town but spoke to us over the phone.
Would you want the children here eating food that looked like that? Or being served food that looked like that?
Jones admitted there is a problem and confirmed the head of food services for the entire school system was suspended a couple of weeks ago.
If an employee is suspended, generally going to be related to performance.
I have an email that
But we talked to that suspended employee, Suzanne Gilbertson, and she says none of this is her fault.
my cafeteria employees have always been told if you're not going to eat it, don't serve it to the students.
Gilbertson says the superintendent put someone in charge of the high school's cafeteria a few months ago, and she says that person is not properly trained. On top of that, Gilbertson says these emails show that she reached out to Dr. Jones about the issue, but she was told she did not have any authority over the new manager.
I was advised that these employees, they don't report to me as they report to human resources and to the superintendent.
Now, the superintendent also told me he expects his food services employees to work together as a team, and if they did, this issue wouldn't exist. He said he would address the overcooked food with his staff immediately. As for Gilbertson, she plans to address the school board with her concerns at their next board meeting.
That was just one of the stories. I just want to show you one. I had a few planned, but we got to move on here. When we return, Purdue chicken under attack from employees. It's one of the craziest stories ever throughout the 6 years. We did it last season. I thought I'd show you again for Throwback Thursday. Stay with us. Consider this. Over 30 years ago, it used to be under $1. Now, poultry was under $1. Now it's up to over $1, and employees used to get 3 of those cents. But Purdue chicken was under attack years ago when complaints rose to even employees protesting and quitting. Most of those were women. As we first showed you last season, a lot of women complain about all of these. So tonight, we're going to revisit this story, and we're going to tell you some tips what you can do to report this. Stuff like this, even if it's injured. Here's Tom Jarrell.
This is a side of the fast food business you don't see in commercials. Along the back roads of eastern North Carolina, trucks arrive all night at a desolate, out-of-the-way plant. From the outside, there's no indication that thousands of people work here around the clock to satisfy America's enormous hunger for one thing: chicken. Last year, Americans consumed chicken in record quantities. 67 pounds a person, 5.5 billion birds a year. No one's been more successful at creating this appetite than the super salesman who stars in his own TV commercial, Frank Purdue. What he doesn't advertise is a hidden human cost. High profits carved out of a mostly black labor force, doing the dirty work, which extracts a human toll in getting these birds from here, where they're fattened, to your kitchen table. Working by moonlight, teams of live catchers begin their day in the birdhouses, boiling an air thick with dust and lung-searing ammonia, to gather up the unsuspecting crop. After this bizarre harvest, the birds are trucked off to the slaughterhouse. There, modern, fast-moving machinery and human hands compete on the processing line, cleaning, butchering, and packaging the birds. The pay, $5.65 an hour.
A woman goes in there and stands on her feet for 8.5 to 9 hours a day in chicken fat and ice and water for hours processing chicken. And then at the end of the day, she's not able to cook, she's not able to comb her children's hair. That's no kind of compensation.
Sarah Fields Davis runs a local women's support group and is trying to mobilize poultry workers to improve working conditions inside Purdue's plants in North Carolina. Most of the workers here are the children of sharecroppers, many of them single mothers with little education. What they have to offer Frank Purdue, often all they have, is a strong pair of hands. Last year, the Women's Center sponsored clinics where outside doctors examine the workers' hands and wrists for signs of repetitive motion injuries, particularly carpal tunnel syndrome. Carpal tunnel is caused by overworked tendons that press on the main nerve in the hand. It's painful, debilitating, and often require surgery.
One of the problems with doing this operation is occasionally that branch is injured and they can end up with some numbness in a finger.
It involves cutting into the wrist to relieve the pressure on the nerve. Even afterwards, some workers say routine tasks are difficult.
When I brush my teeth, I don't have grip in my hand. I can't hold a glass of water or tea long. This hand is hurt every day. Not just some days. It hurt every day. And I have most times keep this hand up like this. Because it be stopped, hurt. Keep it up like this. This one hurt. They be hurting all down my arm.
Lily Watson worked on the Purdue processing line for 13 years. She's had 3 operations on her hands. Now on disability, Mrs. Watson says it's even hard to care for her granddaughter, Keisha.
So I can't even comb her hair.
I couldn't turn the ignition in my car using my right hand. I have to turn my ignition by using both hands most of the time.
Not enough strength in the wrist?
Not enough strength in my wrist.
Donna Bazemore, a single mother of 3, lasted on the line for less than 3 years. She says a hand injury requiring surgery forced her to leave too.
And I just couldn't take it any longer. I worked on that line for 8 hours, through the pain because I needed a job.
Donna is now an organizer with the Women's Center, trying to educate other workers. The Purdue company says Bazemore was an unreliable employee who was fired, a charge she denies.
It's not a good feeling to know that you have worked for a company, and now that same company that you have worked for has crippled you.
Poultry companies seldom let reporters pass the barbed wire fences. But Frank Purdue made an exception. He agreed to an interview and allowed 2020 a rare look inside his Lewiston plant. It's an incredible sight. Over 2,800 workers here processing upwards of 425,000 chickens a day. They cut, they slice, they grab, they tug as the poultry passes. Even Purdue concedes the work is grueling. It's a highly competitive industry, and speed counts for everything. Workers here who handled 56 chickens a minute 10 years ago now find themselves on lines that run up to 91 birds a minute. The company is non-union, and Frank Purdue wants to keep it that way. Besides above minimum wages, he offers medical benefits and a pension, $7 a month for each year of service. Most of the jobs on the processing lines require the same repetitive motion over and over again. And as a result, state labor officials have accused Purdue of tolerating working conditions here that can lead to crippling hand and arm disorders.
We found one position where no employee had been there more than 2 weeks ever. That tells you a lot when you have that kind of turnover rate.
The most serious charge in the state report, that the Purdue company willfully failed to keep factual injury records to cover up the seriousness of the problem. When you went to the company nurse to complain that you were injured and that your hands were hurting, did they make a full, complete, detailed report?
No.
What did they do?
She gave me some pain pills, Tylenol, Advil, and see that it worked.
Back to work.
Yes.
Is Purdue keeping accurate medical records? Well, they've not been keeping accurate records. They are to keep accurate records, and again, that's why we issued a willful in this instance.
In contesting the state decision, the company admits clerical errors, but insists that less than 2% of its workforce actually suffers from repetitive motion injuries. However, last year, a Purdue manager estimated it's normal for 60% of the workers to visit the nurse every day, complaining of aching hands.
I don't think there's anything like 60%. Because we checked it. We checked the previous 6 months. It just simply wasn't a fact.
Company officials proudly point to safer, modernized workstations on the line and to new, sharper implements to ease the pressure on the workers' hands. And for those with serious hand injuries, light duty assignments. But it's still a risky business.
Did you see any problems with safety, people being injured?
Plenty.
Grace Valentine worked on the line for 9 years.
Like what kind?
People with hurt hands, scissors, rubbing blisters, and knots on the fingers. Girls complaining about the muscles in their arms and in their hands swelling up on them. They would take them off the line for a brief period of time and put them right back.
2020 found dangerous accidents have occurred on the processing line, too. Courtney Lewis was mangled by machinery his first day on the job.
You have to grab the bird and
lift up. When I went to get the bird, my thumb was inside the shack and it was hard to take the bird off.
With almost no training, Lewis was working alone at this task. Grabbing stray chickens the machine fails to dump into a chilling tank. There was no emergency stop button nearby.
And when I tried to get over, and the shack was steady moving. And see, the line keep moving, and I couldn't take my thumb out, and it just pulled it right on off.
The boy was trained by two different people. And he'd been on the job about an hour and a half, I think, when this accident occurred. And it was tragic. I could not feel more terrible about it.
Lewis says not only was his thumb torn off by the shackle, but the company nurse threw it away. By the time the thumb was recovered by doctors, he says it was too late to reattach it.
She had threw my thumb in the trash.
Fields Davis has investigated a number of serious accidents at Purdue.
Tell me about the woman whose breast was caught in machinery.
She was working on a scrubber. It's a machine that cleans the gizzard and it goes around and around. And her breast was caught in that. Of course, they said it was her fault.
How badly was she hurt?
She was hurt real bad.
There's too many accidents, and the lines are going too fast. Is that how people get hurt?
When you got on the fast line, you couldn't keep up. It was impossible.
What would happen if you needed to leave the line, if you wanted to take a break?
Well, if nobody didn't relieve you, you had to stay there. Women have urinated on themselves on the line. They have developed severe kidney and bladder infections, urinary tract infections, from holding their urine so long.
Did you ever get trapped there when you really needed to leave?
Many times.
Frank Purdue suspects overzealous supervisors for abuses on the line and denies his plants are unsafe or inhumane.
If a foreman is not treating people properly, and I know of that foreman is not going to be around because we're not going to put up with that. You know how many complaints I get when I saw this many chickens?
In his commercials, Purdue challenges customers to find fault with his chickens. And when we visited the plant, he challenged 2020 to talk with the current employees. He calls them associates.
So don't just sit there. Come on, let me have it.
During a lunch break, with company managers standing by behind us, the associates did.
The lines are too fast, and then the lines are done, and you putting out your best, and they don't think you're doing nothing.
I've been diagnosed as having tendonitis in my right wrist. Off and on, it's very painful.
You can't go to them and say, my hand hurts. You have to go to the doctor and get a doctor excuse just to get off the line.
My whole body was aching, and I went to the nurse about 2 or 3 times, and then she just gave me a couple of pills and sent me back on the line.
The nurse on duty admitted she does give over-the-counter pain remedies like Advil as part of the company therapy program. She also gives them vitamin pills.
We use vitamin E and a vitamin B. They would get that once in the morning with ibuprofen.
For more serious injuries, the nurse says she supplies hand splints, and those cases are always referred to a qualified doctor. But to the workers, he's suspect too.
Family doctor is in with the company. He's not going to tell you anything concerning your hand until it's completely damaged.
There are no sick days, no pay for the first 7 days they're out ill.
They try to treat it like machines, they treat it like human beings.
Some of your employees say you treat the chickens better than the employees who work for you.
Well, that's just not a fact. If we're going to produce great chickens, we first have to treat the associates well, so that they will be happy workers, happy associates.
It doesn't sound like they're too happy.
Well, it's a tough job. I can't represent it as being an easy job because it isn't an easy job. It's a tough job.
When I went to Purdue, I had 2 good hands. With nothing wrong with my hands. I was able to work and use my hands. Then after I got carpal tunnel syndrome, they treat me just like a worn-out pair of shoes.
Purdue doesn't care anything about us. Do you know that when he has stripped all of us of all of our human resources, he will be looking for another place and some more workers? And the only person that you can go to then is God, because you don't have nothing left.
Mrs. Watson says her religion gave her comfort over the years. Now she says it hurts her hands too much to clap. Last year, her oldest daughter began work at Purdue. And Fields Davis worries about the next generation of strong North Carolina hands.
I don't see a future for these little girls. I really hate to see that. The only thing that I can see is that we continue to educate the parents so that these children stay in school, get an education so that they don't have to go into Purdue.
Tom, this is, even though we've centered on Frank Purdue, this is an industry-wide problem, isn't it?
Barbara, it certainly is. In fact, other poultry companies have been cited, just as the Purdue company has, for injuries and employee violations.
The solution, I guess, would be that you make less profit and take better care of your workers. But why aren't they unionized?
The unions traditionally have not been very strong, especially in the rural South. The poultry industry has been fighting unionization, and the workers, quite frankly, are afraid if they try to organize, they'll be fired.
Then the industry had just better take better care of their people.
Seems so, yes.
Well, this is news to a lot of us. Thanks, Tom.
It's news every morning. Things that gotta be done. We need to reach the common sense. Just basically treat your employees well. You're ever injured? Make an injury report. I've been injured. I mean, I work in Mickey D's. I've been injured. I write down an injury report. If I'm injured, if I'm burned on the line, I file an injury report. I go to a doctor, and I think I have a video going back to. If you saw one of my videos, you may have seen me in a blue cast. You might have seen me in a blue cast. Let's see here. I think this is it right here. Let me. Okay, I don't know if you can see it. Okay. See that right there? That's me in a blue cast. That was to where I was burned on the job. Welcome to this very special edition of Give Me a Break, where today is Spirit Day, where it all means you have to wear purple in order to set up to bullying. And look at how chubby I was. And look at me now. I'm a little bit like Shaggy. I still got the pot belly. It's just how it is. We're back in a moment with a classic Bible break. Here's a couple of classic Bible breaks. Who remembers like when you're having a drink one day, and yet all of a sudden, you come up with a story about a time where a janitor had to clean up shit in it from a urinal. Take a look at this one.
I walk into the bathroom, and there's a janitor there. He's like, he's sitting there like, it's like, goddamn, let's play the shit! I walk in, he's like, it's like, you do this shit! I'm like, no, what happened? He's like, someone did a shit in the urinal! I'm like, man, I didn't do it, I don't know what happened. It's like, God damn it! What fucking middle place? I walk into the bathroom, and there's a janitor there. He's like, he's sitting there like, it's like, goddamn, let's play the shit!
And here's one you might remember from 2 years ago. Just take a look at this. This guy takes a shit. He took a shit in the bucket. I never laughed so hard. I like how homeless dude grabs a bump out of Jenna's hand, goes on the floor. That's his fuss. Meanwhile, Steve Burns was Florida man. He didn't even wipe. He could have used that mop to wipe his ass. And then wipe your ass with that mop. Man, that feels good. How about you take a shit? You take a shit. You take a shit in the subway. There's a whole. How about you take a shower in the subway? Oh my god. There was one that got me really laughing. Yo! Oh man. It was even like...
Please, hold me get Berto.
Dame que volto. This is some Snake Trust 2018. Seriously, Trust 2018. Like a shit in the bucket. I was trying to find out where he took his shit in this. Okay, I can't find him. I'm gonna describe to you. This is guy. He took a shit on a train. On a train. Oh my god. This is outrageous. To be exact. In all these years, we focused in on these rival breaks. Never has one caught my eye than taking a shit in the urinal and taking a shit in a bucket. Alright, coming up on Give Me a Break Friday. It's all about gene cleansing in our food. Then it's all about child loneliness and child abuse. Here's a preview.
A little girl likens her loneliness to a coin in an empty piggy bank. Can she be helped? The mother of a lonely teenage boy says that loneliness is just a part of who he is. Does he need help? And what about the millions of other children who are growing up lonely? How can parents know if they're just going through a phase or if they're being scarred for life? Well, tonight, in a very unusual report, some answers. We think and hope that Bob Brown's report will help some lonely kids.
And it will. Child abuse, child loneliness, and gene cleansing in our food. Coming up tomorrow. That's it for Throwback Thursday. We'll see you again. We'll see you again in September for our first Throwback Thursday of season 8. Yeah, season 8. And we'll see you again for Give Me a Break Friday. For all of us here at YouTube at Give Me a Break, always stop bullying, speak up. Concentration, not strength. No jaywalking. Have yourself a great night.